got mine. You know. Ask me what I'm doing, just grinding. Haters wanna hate, let them hate, never mind them. Be more bins, tryna reach the next plateau. And I can't stop till I achieve my goals. Keep a couple feet inside the photos. So official with the vibe, you can kick up my zone. Hold on for a minute, let me count mine. You know.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Damian Cryer, and I am back with another video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed, and amazing day today. If you have not subscribed to the Cryer family, guys, what are you waiting on? All you have to do is turn that bell on so you subscribe to the channel. But being subscribed to the channel only means you are subscribed. In order to get the notifications every time your boy upload a video on the Cryer family, all you have to do is boom, turn on that bell with the vibrating symbol. That way, every time I upload a video on the Cryer family, you will get the notifications. Also, guys, I want to say thank you so much, man. We are on a road to 60K on the new Cryer family Facebook page, guys. I want to say thank you guys who all recently followed me on the Facebook page, man. Not my regular Facebook, Damian Cryer. It's my new Facebook page. Is called the Cryer family Facebook. All you're gonna see over there is 3 videos dropping every single week, man. So all you got to do is go on over there and follow me. Just press the follow. When you press the follow, you're already subscribed. The notifications is already on. It's not like YouTube. You just press the follow button. Every time I drop a video over there on the new Cryer family Facebook page, you guys will get the notification flashed across your devices. I believe that's going to be what's today, Friday? So one will be dropping today. I believe another one will be dropping Sunday, and I think Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. So it's 3 times a week. These are going to be short videos. Some of the videos that you guys will be seeing on the new Cryer family Facebook page, you will not find on my YouTube channel. A lot of it's going to, some of it's going to be old content, but a lot of it's going to be new content, but more shorter videos. That's the partnership between me and Facebook now, and I am so happy to be signed with the Facebook network team. Thank you again for welcoming me aboard, and thank you guys, all of you guys, man, who've been supporting me since day one, man. I feel truly amazed, man. It's like every day that I wake up, man, I feel like that I'm closer and closer to accomplishing my goals. When I retired, man, at the age of 47 and moved down here in 2019, man, I never thought that things would be this good, man. You know, even though I do have my moments of weakness where, you know, like I'm like any other human being. I do get upset. I do get caught up in my feelings sometimes. I'm just a human being, man. So, but for the most part, I am extremely grateful. I recently found out some wonderful news, man, about a week and a half ago, that really just changed the trajectory of my life, man, my future moving forward. Some things that I'm really not going to share right now, but later on in the future, you know, the next 7-8 months, you know, maybe it will start to reveal itself, man. But I have a lot of wonderful things going on in my life right now, and even though I still have my struggles, you know, I find ways to deal with each situation accordingly and trying to move the best way that I can. So anyway, guys, why we are here today, man, I put a notification out earlier. Sorry, my lips was chapped after all that. Speaking of, somebody said in the comment last night, they said, Mr. Cryer, when you do that, I had to duck to make sure that phlegm didn't hit me. It's all good, man. So anyway, I posted earlier on my Insta story. I said, if you guys want a Q&A today with the Cryer family, which you guys know, I do a Q&A once a month between the 1st and the 7th of the month. So today happens to be the day that I am doing the Q&A. I put up a Insta story earlier asking if you guys wanted a Q&A, a monthly Q&A today with the Cryer family. And, you know, I had a few comments. I put it up kind of early, so I didn't get a whole lot of comments, but I questions. So I did get like a few questions, and we're going to share a few of those questions with you guys. And if you guys, oh, just dropped my glasses. If you guys have some questions that you want to ask after this Q&A is over with, all you got to do is slide my DMs. You can ask me those questions. My IG is Damian Cryer. Damian Cryer Senior, all lower casings. And while you over there, guys, go ahead and smash that follow button. We are on the road to 100K over on Damian Cryer IG. So Let's see, let's pull them up. I actually screenshotted these on my phone, guys. So like I said, there wasn't a lot of them. So this is not going to be one of those long 45, 35, 50-minute drawn out Q&As. It's just straight to the point. So, Sean, thank you for the question, Sean, and thank you for commenting on my post. Sean asks, how are you doing and what are your goals and accomplishments for the year of 2020? Thank you for the question, Sean. How am I doing? I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like about a month ago, it was a struggle, bro. So much crazy stuff was going on in my personal life. And then with the internet, I felt like I was in like this war with the internet. So I would say the month of March is starting off extremely positive. Again, I got some extremely great news about a week and a half ago that's going to change the trajectory of my life. You know, again, I thought moving down here in 2019 and retiring at the age of 27 that things couldn't get any better, but fortunately things seem to be going a whole lot better than I anticipated. Again, there's things that I'm not at liberty to discuss right now, but later on it will reveal itself. Some of the goals that I plan on accomplishing in 2022. I want to make a better life for myself. I am finding ways to try to become a better person, become stronger, continue to move forward with my life. And most importantly, man, family, as you guys know, to me, family is everything to me. So Sean, thank you for that question. But again, one of the other things I want to do in 2022 is like, you know, like you guys know I'm a water sports person. I love fishing. I love the ocean. One of the things I do want to get back to doing this summer is getting back on the water. I would like to have all of my kids together under one roof so we can all have like a huge dinner. And as you guys know, my kids are spread out in different states: Mississippi, Indiana, Houston, Texas. And it's like, you know, it's hard to get everybody together because everybody has their own schedules. But that is one thing that I want to do so bad. I want to be able to bring all my kids together under one roof and we just have the most amazing time ever, man. So thank you again, Sean, for responding to my Insta post. The next question comes from he. It just says he, H-E. Thank you, H-E, for commenting on my Insta story. Oh, wow. I screenshotted this without reading it. It says, what do you think to achieve between you and Erica? Question mark. I'm assuming he's meaning love by Erica. Well, I think most importantly, one of the major things that I wanted to achieve between me and Erica is, first of all, a line of communication. When me and Erica both were with different people, we didn't really have a line of communication for our son. And sometimes when you get with other people, depending on the type of person that you're with, your significant other, you could have a significant other who don't like you in communication with your ex. You could have your significant other who wants you in communication with your ex for the, you know, sake of the child. So every situation and relationship is different. One of the huge things that I believe that's been accomplished between me and Erica is that we have communication now. You know, there was times where we had to, you know, like feel like that we had to sneak and communicate with each other. I like the fact that me and Erica not only have a communication together for co-parenting. I will say this, in the beginning, me and Erica, we jumped into it. It started off as business, as with other people that I've worked with on the Crier family. It always started off as just business. You know, they wanted to do videos. I wanted to do videos. I liked it, their vibe at the time. They liked it, mine, and we worked together. And when you work with someone, you guys tend to spend a lot of time together. That means you're working through the day, you're working through the night, you're filming, and sometimes one thing leads to another. Me and Erica's situation was one of the same situations where, you know, she started working with me, we started working together, we started hanging out, we started spending time together, and then she started seeing things about me that she didn't really like or approve of, and I started seeing things about her that I didn't like. I think I can safely say, with that being said, we didn't really give each other time to really know each other as friends. You know, like as of right now, we've been back in communication for several months now. Again, she's single and I'm single, so it's like we don't have to sneak around. We don't have to worry about nobody trying to expose us. But it just feels really good knowing that we are now building now what we should have built back then, because Erica really didn't know me back then, you know, not as well as she knows me now. But since we're communicating without all the extra stuff in the equation, and I want to be very clear, when you take sex out of the equation, when you take staying at each other's house out of the equation, when you take all of the stuff out of the equation, like I love you, baby, stay the night, let's have sex. When you take all that stuff out of the equation and you try to do it different, it actually works. It actually works. If you can take those things out of the equation and try to focus on what's really important, and that's why we're able to work together now. That's why we're able to drop videos on her channel. That's how we're able to drop videos on my channel without her getting upset, running to the internet, or me getting upset and deleting the videos or putting them on private. We're able to have a better communication now. And that's one of the hardest things that was hard for us to accomplish. I can honestly say, me and Erica, we actually know each other a whole lot better now than we did back then. Back then, she say something that pisses me off, it's get the hell out my house. You know, or I say something to her back then, it's like, F you, block. Me and Erica is cool. You know, it took us a while to get where we're at right now today. Yes, was there some stuff done on the internet? You know, yes, it was. It was a lot of disrespectful stuff done. It was a lot of crazy, hateful stuff done on both sides, you know, and I will say this, you know, there was a lot of damage done, you know, but this is a situation where I can't just walk away from this woman. You know, I have to deal with her for the next 16, 17 years. I mean, you guys believe at one time we had to meet at a freaking police station for me to get my son? And I've never put her at risk, ever, or my child. But we were, you know, but now we're able to communicate, man. We're able to communicate effectively. And it's like now we have like our disagreements sometimes, because there's certain things that I want to do for like video purposes, and she'll say, no, I don't want to do that. And back then I used to be like, well, why not, you know? But now it's like we have a whole lot better understanding, and communication is the key when you're trying to co-parent, man. Because, you know, if things were really as awful as it is, I would just rather just be the co-parenting and walk away from doing the videos. But I really love Erica's company. I enjoy her energy. And as knowing her the way that I know her now, with taking those three things out of the equation, it does make things a whole lot better. Now, is there times where I'll be wanting to cross the line? Of course it is. But when I think about the damage that could cause by crossing the line, especially right now with the baby on the way, you know, when I think about the things, you know, that could happen by crossing the line, I know that it would be wrong to do. So the next question came from 223 Pookie. Thank you, 223 Pookie, for commenting on my instant post. 223 Pookie asks, what is the worst thing done to you in prison? Well, the first worst thing that's been done to me in prison was I actually allowed myself to even be in a position where I actually had to go to prison. That was the first worst thing done to me in prison. Now, getting on to the meat and the potatoes and why we're here. 223 Pookie, I'm so grateful that you asked me that question, because we're going to elaborate and talk about that for a second. When I went to prison, it was like the worst thing that I had ever experienced. I wish I could go back and turn back the hands of time, you know. And just so crazy that I ended up making a choice and going back to prison a second time. But it was for the same crime, guys. Basically, I ended up getting like a parole violation. I didn't go commit a new crime or reoffend or anything. I ended up violating my parole and the terms of my early release from prison. So I went back a second time to finish up the remaining portion of my sentence, which was, the remaining portion was 3 years and 7 months or something like that. So I ended up getting a GED and they ended up cutting 3 months off my sentence. So it was like 3 years and 2 months, 3 years and 3 months. One of the worst things that's happened to me while I was in prison, actually twice. While I was incarcerated, 1995, one day I was headed to the recreational area, and that's where you're allowed to go lift weights and stuff in prison. And one of the guards, well, two of the guards that came and got me, they said, Mr. Cryer, you have to go back to the dorm. I'm like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. What's going on? They say you are now placed on FDR. And at the time, I didn't know what an FDR was. And we got back to the dorm. They said you're on full dorm restriction. And then they gave me a piece of paper. They said you need to call your grandmother. My heart skipped a beat. My heart skipped a beat. Full dorm restriction means that you are now locked down. Now, I'm already locked up with razor wire fence and machine guns and towers pointing down. But now I'm on full dorm restriction. I can't even leave the dorm. I mean, I can't go to the recreational yard. I can't go to the lunch hall. Everything has to be wrong to me. So I called home, and my grandmother had answered the phone. And I asked my grandma what was going on, and she said in a really calm voice, she says, well, you know, Damien, they found the body this morning, and they believe the body is your little brother. You know, and I was really, really hurt by this. And, you know, not being able to go to the funeral because, you know, I had a violent offense. You know, I had a violent crime that landed me in prison. And in most states, if you have a violent offense and the death of a loved one happens while you're incarcerated, they won't let you go to the funeral because they consider you as a level 4, which is a high risk. Whereas if I went to prison for a non-violent offense, like maybe selling drugs or B&E, which is breaking into someone's home, which is all non-violent offenses, I would have been able to go to the funeral. So, I was really hurt behind that, losing my brother. I lost a lot of weight, and it was just awful, on top of the stories that I was hearing surrounding my brother's death. And so during the time of that, my mom had came down to see me. My mom wasn't able to always come down to the prison to see me. And when my mom came down, you know, a couple of times to see me after my brother passed, I used to ask my mom, like, you know, how she's doing and stuff. And she used to always say, well, Damien, life would never be the same, you know, since my baby's been gone. And my brother passed in 96, and my mom came and seen me. I'm sorry, my brother passed in 1995. My mom came and seen me in 96, was just a few months later. My brother passed around August, which was close to the end of the year. And my mom came and seen me in 96, and we were talking and stuff. You know, visitation was only like 2 hours. And then a few months later, I got the call that my mom had passed. And again, I was outside in the rec yard, and they came and got me again and put me on FDR, full dorm restriction. And they were the prison was trying to communicate with Fort Wayne, Indiana, Allen County, the sheriff's office, to come and pick me up for my mom's funeral. And even though I was a violent offender at the time, they were still going to let me go to my mom's funeral. Just so happened, Allen County, which is Fort Wayne, where I was raised and born at, it was a bad snowstorm that week, and the sheriff would not send the other officers down to pick me up for the funeral. And so those were two of the worst things that happened to me in prison, and it's something that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life, because when I went to prison, I had a baby brother and I had a mom. And so when I came home from prison, I had no baby mom, no baby brother, and I had no mom. And it was awful, man. It was like, I mean, I felt so empty when I came home. It was like I was out here all alone, you know, even though I had my sisters and brothers. But you know how this is. You guys know how this works. When you lose like your grandmother, which is like the glue of the family, you know, it's like that's when everything falls apart. No more family reunions, no more cookouts, no more Sunday dinners at mom's house. That's when things really change. So that was, you know, that was one of the worst things that just ever happened to me while I was in prison. So it's hard every time I think about that, because it's like my mom and my brother are actually buried at the same cemetery in Indiana where my son Deontay is buried at, and they're just like several feet apart from each other. So it always sickens me to my stomach that I didn't get a chance to go say goodbye to them. And like I said, I think that was the worst part of what happened to me when I was in prison. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, you know, and that's something that I guess I'll never get a chance to do. Not meeting my dad ever, not even knowing his name, and then losing my mom like that. It was just, you know, and I blame myself because I should have made better choices. You know, I knew when I was out here in the street carrying guns, selling dope, you know, I knew what I was doing was wrong. But we all think that we can never get caught. It's never gonna be us. So that was really hurtful. But anyway, 223 Pookie, thank you for responding to my Insta message. Appreciate it. The last one, guys, we only gonna do 4 of them because, you know, this has kind of got me a little bothered. I'm a little emotional when I talk about this. Someone asked me, Mr. Crier, did any guy ever try to come for you while you was in prison? I'm gonna take that as they mean if anybody ever tried to take my goods while I was in a joint. Guys, this is honest right here. That stuff that you guys hear about on television, and this is not to make prison seem like this is an okay place to go, because it's absolutely not. Prison is not a good place to be, but it's not what people put it out to be. When you go to prison, man, they don't sit there and take advantage of you. You guys hear the story about if you go to prison, you're gonna get raped and all this stuff. That's not true. The only people who come out of prison switching are the ones who went in switching. They have like laws in place now that protect people, even the inmates. So they have like a 2-for-1. Basically, if you sentenced to, well, at least in Indiana at the time when I was, you know, when I went to prison, if you got 20 years in prison and the judge sentenced you to 20 years, you will only do 10 years of that. I mean, that's a lot of time, but you would only do half of the sentence on good behavior. Now, if you start getting into fights and stuff like that, then that's when they start reaching up there and pulling from the other 10 years. So say like if you got 20 years, do 10. On good behavior, you can do 10 years and be home 10 years early. But if you start messing up, they'll pull like a year down. So say like if you get in a fight, they'll add an extra year to your sentence from that other 10 years that's at the top hanging. So that a lot of stuff that happens like that, it's just stories that might have happened back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s in other countries and stuff like that. But that stuff don't go on today. You don't turn the television on and see, oh, an inmate was violated in prison. You might have heard that an inmate was killed in prison, or a prison riot, or someone was badly beaten in prison, but you don't hear that someone was taken advantage of like that in prison. All those are just myths that happened back in the day. Although I do not condone going to prison, because prison is not the place that you want to be. But those are just some, you know, sharing some of the things that's happened to me in my life, man. You know, some of the craziest things that I experienced, you know, when I was in prison and stuff. But I'm finna bring this video to an end, guys. Like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of questions. And there was a couple of other questions, but I'm not gonna lie, the questions that were asked were extremely inappropriate, and that's not for this video. Sometimes when I do like a post like that, that's why I put it on like my Insta story. So if I forget to delete it, it would disappear in 24 hours. Whereas if I put it on my community post, you have a lot of people coming in there saying inappropriate stuff, and I don't get to see all those comments because I'm not on YouTube like that a lot, where I don't go back and read a lot of the comments. You guys might notice, like when I drop a video, I would favorite and heart my comments and stuff right then and there, but I don't go back 2 or 3 days later and then look at them and then redo it, because there'll be so many hundreds of people commenting, it's almost impossible to keep up with every single comment that someone asks you. But we're gonna do a couple of post notification shout outs today, guys. Oh my God, we just hit 519,000 subscribers today, man. Thank you guys for that. The first post notification shout out goes to Martha Tremel. Martha Tremel, you are today's first post notification shout out on the Crier family. The next post notification shout out goes to Shamika Davis. Shamika Davis, you are today's number 2 post notification shout out on the Crier family. Number 3 post notification shout out goes to the More Gang CMG. Go on over there and subscribe to them. They have a YouTube channel, it looks like. Congratulations Moral Family CMG. I love you guys, man. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, it's your boy Damian Cryer. I love all of you guys, man. Thank you all who commented. The ones who didn't comment, I understand a lot of people still at school, still at work, and can't be on IG and stuff like that. But I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, and I am out.